throw it up. Start twerking like Miley. Don't pop it like Miley.
Fala galera, beleza? Aqui é o Kizumbba e neste final de semana rolou o primeiro campeonato oficial de Paragon, o primeiro torneio de exibição oficial organizado pela própria Epic Games, onde foram convidados 4 times, 2 da Europa e 2 da América do Norte. Rolou de tudo, muitos kills, muitas viradas, jogadas fantásticas. Pena que quem não viu perdeu. Mas eu deixei aí no final do vídeo a última partida do campeonato para dar decisão. Quem foi o campeão você vai poder ver agora. Se você já viu, vai poder ver de novo. Se não viu, veja agora. O que eu achei do campeonato? Achei o campeonato fantástico, não deixou nada a desejar para nenhum outro campeonato. O que deu para perceber também nesse campeonato é a tendência que está se fazendo no Paragon, que é uma nova meta. Geralmente são os times profissionais que criam as metas das lanes, e a meta que eles estão criando é a composição 1, 2, 1 e o jungle, né? Claro. Então é o seguinte, o mid vai para easy lane, no mid fica o carry e o suporte, e na offlane continua o offlane. Por exemplo, a composição é o Gideon. O Gideon vai para a rota easy lane, que seria a rota do carry e do suporte. E o carry e o suporte ficam no meio, um Twin Blast e uma Decker, por exemplo. E o Greystone continua na rota dele lá na hard lane. É uma composição bem legal, que eu vi muito no campeonato, que funciona realmente. Outra coisa que eu vi no campeonato foi a visão. Vocês reparem no minimapa aqui no vídeo que vai ter, que muita visão o tempo todo. Visão é fundamental quando se joga em time. Nas minhas gameplays eu não faço uso muito da ward, mas é uma opção minha, e porque eu estou jogando solo. Se eu estivesse jogando em time, comunicando o tempo todo com o meu time, claro que eu usaria o ward o tempo todo. E façam uso da ward também. Com as mudanças que vão vir agora dia 8, vai ficar melhor ainda o Paragon, bem mais dinâmico, as partidas mais disputadas e tal. Vai ficar bem maneiro. E é isso aí, pessoal. Fica aí com a partida. Valeu, falou.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Day 2. Toronto played phenomenally yesterday. They'll be facing off against Reborn. They played very well that first game against Toronto. Then they kind of fell apart there for Game 2. I think they're going to be looking for redemption.
Nazgul teleblinks forward, knocks Cameron up as well. Reborn are just grouped up down mid lane, and they are on a death charge right there, trying to end this game 2-0. It's going to be up to Cameron, Marty, and Blood Mortius to defend their core and defend their hopes here in Paragon Exhibition 2017. There's the containment miss, but they blink forward right on past through it. They're trying to go for the core. Nadosync is stuck, but as of right now, it's simply a zoning tool. Nazgul does get taken out. Nadosync is low. Can Blood Mortius get it? There's the pull away. Tainted Magic is enough damage. The heal's coming out for Fade. The Scepter get lands, and that's the one they needed right there. Blood Mortius gets the root, gets the kill, and Toronto are making a stand. They are keeping their core alive, and also if they continue to get more kills, they can push down mid and potentially get more objectives. But as of right now, they're going to be content with the fact that they kept their core alive. Once again, into the breach. Dear brother is Reborn as they are charging forward here onto the core. This is Toronto is going to have to make something happen, but I don't think Marty, he's good, but he's not going to be good enough here. This is going to be Reborn focusing down the core, doing what they can, coming back from day number 1 with a lackluster performance into day number 2, and GG, they take the series 2-0.
Congratulations to Team Reborn.
Yeah.
First team to qualify here in the finals. Now we are jumping into the second set of matches here. Think Twice and Team Oxygen. It's going to be a heated match here.
I think honestly this is the game here, unless Phasma can pull something out, Arsenic can pull something out. They have done this before. Phasma and Arsenic holding that off, but Undefiled needs to get on this core.
So it doesn't look like they're on the same page. Several heroes hitting the core, several others not doing that.
Confirming this kill.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be
the staggered deaths right there. Undead Pilot picking up the Decker kill, and then also somehow involved going down.
Adapting from that game 1, knowing that they had to shut down meds in order to curb that aggressive playstyle of Oxygen, and picking up the win 2-0.
Wow, that went from 0 to 100 so quickly.
The game was busted wide open, though. We see smiles all over the side of Think Twice. I mean,
Jaden, amazing. That whole game deserves every ounce of satisfaction he has right now.
Oxygen played phenomenally.
Yeah.
I'm feeling super happy. Like, up on that stage, I was shouting, I was screaming. A lot of respect to Oxygen.
Day number 2 has come, day number 2 has gone, and tomorrow we're going to see who's going to be the champion of Paragon Exhibition 2017.
Now we have an excellent matchup. Both teams came out number 1 in their respective qualifiers. Reborn number 1 for North America. Think Twice number 1 coming out of Europe. So how fitting that we have a championship match featuring these two powerhouse teams. Reborn, again, performed not so hot on day 1. Maybe you could say they were playing possum. They baited out some of those strats from Toronto Esports and came back firing on all cylinders day 2. Shane, what do you expect from Reborn going into this match?
As long as they remain consistent and they stick with what got them here. Day number 1, they tried switching things up, and it just didn't look right. Day number 2, they came in, they played Reborn's game, they stayed in their comfort zone, and ultimately that's what led them to victory. I think they stay within the confines of what they know, draft appropriately. I think the big 2 things to look out for are Heroes on Nazgul and Heroes on Reflect.
Yeah, that's right. They were able to secure themselves these comfort picks here in day 2, and Nazgul and NATO both showing up so huge, making just game-changing plays, so we'll have to keep an eye on them.
And they will be facing off against Think Twice. Think Twice really took it to Reborn on day 1. I mean, they made Reborn look like they weren't even there almost. So I am expecting some very big things from Think Twice, and I cannot wait to see what's going on. But Reborn had a little bit to say about their time here at the event so far.
My name's Jay Leogrand, and I play jungle for Team Reborn. Got started in competitive play about a year ago. Just started playing, getting to the top of the ladder, starting to play the people that were playing in tournaments, and decided I wanted to try and join. And it's more fun to play competitive, play for prizes. I got picked up on another team as a sub, and then I played that tournament. We got second, and then I went and made my own team the next week. The reason why I wanted to get into competitive Paragon is just think about the past. I was a really high-ranked player in other MOBA games. Seeing how other MOBAs are really competitive now, and they have more of a, you can actually make a living playing them, where instead I chose to go off to college and finish my degree. Now that I had a break in my work where my company moved and I didn't want to move with them, so I decided that I was going to try Paragon and see where it goes for at least a couple years. The reason I tried Paragon out was because of the 3D aspect and the graphics. It showed a lot of potential for the future. It would mean a lot for me to win this tournament. I started the team. I've been having to deal with all of the problems of being captain, roster changes, getting everyone on the same page and keeping people's dedication up. 4 out of 5 of our members have been around together for about 9 months now. So it's been a long journey for us to get here, and now that competitive Paragon is starting, it would mean a lot to win this tournament, to just kind of have everything paid off, you know? My hope is by winning this tournament, it opens up opportunities for myself as an individual, as well as for my team Reborn. We're here to play, and we're here to win.
Now, Jay Leo showing his resilience and leadership as the team captain for Reborn with their strong performance in day 2 and bouncing back after that performance in day 1 that wasn't up to, I think, Reborn standards. Now, they're going to have their work cut out for them facing off against Think Twice. Shane, can you tell us a little bit about the #1 team coming out of that European qualifier and what makes them so vicious to play against for Team Reborn?
Going into the qualifier as well as going into the exhibition event, they were a bit of an enigma. I'm not sure how their play style was going to be because they were such a new team formed pretty much exclusively for this event. And they had a lot to prove. They wanted to prove themselves as well, and they've done so thus far here, making it to the finals. For me, it's all about Nerf's shot calling, Shadon support play, and Shinx bringing balance to those players' styles, creating the space they need in order to invade and take down objectives.
That's right. This is a very hyper-aggressive team, and that might be what can lead them to take this victory from Reborn. They play almost old-school Paragon, you know. Think of a plan, execute, move on. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3, profit. And I'd say a lot of the nods that we can take from this team are very reminiscent of triangle formation.
Ooh.
One of the oldest of school teams.
Back, yeah.
That's right.
So Zeke actually mentioning triangle formation is so fitting because they played very aggressively during that match against Reborn, and if they're going to be successful, we can kind of expect something similar going into this grand finals match. Now, we had an opportunity to sit down with one of the team's favorite players coming out to this event. All of us had an opportunity to talk to Shadon, but he had an opportunity to share with us what this event means for him.
Yeah, my name is Shadon. I played a support role for Team Think Twice. So I actually started playing Paragon because I had a lot of fun playing MOBAs. I was like instantly hooked to it because it's something new. It's like a 3D MOBA actually, which has like aiming mechanics, and the graphics were so good. I basically started playing competitively when I met up with like the higher people into the game, and they like started recognizing my skills. 1.5 years ago I became a dad, and obviously like that was an amazing thing to happen. Like that was really great. But it was kind of hard because I really had to sacrifice time in order to be able to play and still care for my son. I wasn't able to scrim as much as I used to do. They basically made the decision for me to leave. Like we kind of had to kick you because you don't have that much time, and we feel like it's better for the team. So I was really disappointed. I was really sad because it was 3 days before a tournament. And like those couple of days have been really, really rough. Like I cried like 3 days straight. I didn't eat. I was devastated. And then this amazing thing happened where basically Think Twice formed. Like all of these leftover players got together from all of these teams. I've never been to the USA. I always wanted to go to the USA. It was like my dream. And then playing at the USA on such a big stage with so many people watching, it's been awesome. When we win the whole thing, it's going to be amazing, definitely. I just think I'm going to focus on my school and study and real life things as well. And then after those 6 months, when I'm done with school, I really hope to be on a good team, like any of those 4 teams, just to be like on the main spot. That's my goal.
Now, did Think Twice get Bellica? If they get Bellica and deny Solo Nazgul's pool, then that means Nazgul's going to be forced onto Gideon or maybe another hero he's not really comfortable with. And Talkflick picked up Greystone, so Reflect and Nazgul, we said those are the heroes that if they don't have a good game or Reborn doesn't have a good game, and their 2 comfort picks were immediately denied from their opponent at Think Twice.
They are, I mean, Think Twice is really playing mind games right now.
Yeah.
You know, we had talked about this before this matchup happened. What if Think Twice banned Howie?
Yeah, that's right.
Huge. And they've done that. So we see a Kwong from Reflect.
Okay, beautiful.
And Jay Leo on Grux, which is what we talked about. He had a good Grux gameplay yesterday. So it's really, I think it'll come down to who is Nas going to pick in this situation. Nerf, you think he's going to go Sevarog?
Sevarog.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he didn't, although we did see an outstanding performance on Rampage yesterday.
Shadon Bellica?
That's what I want to see. Shadon Bellica, Nerf, Sevarog. Just give me that right now. With 2 seconds to spare, make my
so
heart
much
happy.
crowd control, and it's going to be Decker.
Sevarog. I'm surprised. So, do you think that Think Twice will pick up this Bellica? Because they have flexed it before.
Solo Nazgul got Bellica.
Oh, okay.
He said, you guys know, I'm picking. Just so we're clear.
Instant lock.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel much more comfortable about Reborn's stance going into this game here, because if Reborn didn't get the Bellica here, it just would have felt, their draft would have felt anemic. And I'm glad that they were able to pick up that hero, though. Now, reflect on Kwong. I think this is the first time we've seen him on that pick today.
Yes.
But what I like about this is Kwong is able to be an impact the moment he hits level 5. It's not Greystone where you have to wait and wait and wait, get that prerequisite farm, get level 11 for your second ultimate, so Reforge doesn't last 4.5 hours for you to get back online. And this is much more of a mid-game draft right here. Reborn now setting themselves up with tools which can deal with the early game aggression Think Twice is going to impose on them.
Now, I'm very curious here between the Bellica and on mid lane for Shinx, what we're going to see here from him. So we know Nas is going to go with Bellica. What is Shinx going to pick here? And we're about to find out.
It's gonna be
Zinx again.
Yep.
Ooh, and Pilot back on that Revenant. I like this pick of Zinx on Shinx on Zinx.
Shinx on Zinx? On Zinx on
Zinx typically can be countered pretty hard by Bellica. Bellica's Void Drone does sap max mana from you every second, so she can really chew away at Zinx's mana pool, which is what Zinx utilizes to maintain durability. But I think Shinx is feeling confident. I think he's ready to run this right into Nazgul, and I'm loving this pickup. I'm loving this worked. Let's just do it again. Let's run it back.
Yeah, now what I'm concerned about right now is whether or not Reborn is going to make the end adapt and be ready to play.
So Reborn, all of the issues that were present in game number 1, they now have answers for. You want to invade my jungle? I'm a Grugs. Come at me.
Yeah.
Reflect is now a Kwong. If he is shunted a little bit in his farm, Kwong is still able to be a big impact. Even if he's under level and under farmed, he can still change the course of a fight or start a fight in the stages of this.
Twice?
Oh yeah.
Man, invade.
They're getting aggressive here. They're
Look
looking
at that.
to
That ward placement we had talked about. Nice. So see, they were able to see this coming. They retreat.
Now, what they did there is they de-warded inside of the jungle of Reborn and then placed a ward for themselves. So already, Think Twice is putting the vision control that they need into the strong side of the jungle of Reborn. So that already shows you what Think Twice is going to be doing here. You guys already knew it was coming, but without any question, those wards being placed there, J-Leo Grande is going to be under a lot of aggression, but mid lane is going to be that actually duo mid coming out here from Reborn, so that's yet another answer. Now they have 2 people in that mid lane to rotate over the jungle and in moment's notice and back up J-Leo Grande already. So Reborn, they're making the adjustments strategically in the draft. Now it comes down to execution.
Yeah.
Can they thwart off that aggression, that pending aggression from Think Twice?
Yeah, and I really love what they did. FaZe went in very, very early. We did see those double wards go down on that green buff. FaZe walked right in and immediately de-warded that. He's trying to give J-Leo that breathing room he desperately needs to just really take this game out of control.
Green buff. This is a pretty early green buff. Each jungler has a different rotation. Sometimes they like to pick it up right at that 3-minute mark. Like they back very quickly after the first camp to get like a strike token or something along that nature, or a health potion, get the green buff, rotate over to the river buff. But with that early of a green buff, keep an eye on Nerf, see what he's doing here. Sevarog generally needs level 2 to get Soul Siphon and Subjugate. Subjugate is a root ability with a small channel. You guys will see a reticle on the ground before it casts. And Soul Siphon is the 5 fingers to the face, if you will, where he is able to do a significant amount of damage, and that will be the primary source of Sevarog's damage as this game goes on.
Now, it was interesting for me, at least, to see Nerf.
Reflect actually is in quite a bit of trouble there. Who's getting aggressive over Greystone, but he's going to barely be able to get away with 32 HP. That was very, very close.
Very close, very close. Now, what's interesting from Nerf is I had not seen him play Sevarog before yesterday. And after yesterday's Sevarog performance, I believe he had most kills, lots of assists, both games for Think Twice. So, you know, we saw the great boulders coming out from Nerf, but man, he plays a mean Sevarog too. Just an awesome, awesome, incredible player.
Oh, wow, and we see Reborn actually challenging that aggression. They're just forcing the point, and as you can see, they started to walk towards that jungle of Think Twice, and now we'll see a little bit of river buffs claimed because of their aggression. So I think Reborn has realized at this point they need to be as aggressive as Think Twice, because Think Twice, though they are hyper aggressive, if they see you ready for it, they might decide to back off, and they're basically just challenging this.
Look at Reborn saying, "You want to invade my jungle? I'm coming at you." The reason J-Leo was able to do what implored him to make that invasion, if you will, is that black buff. There's another one of those river buffs, and what it does is it applies a damage over time to your auto attacks. Early on, it's a significant amount of damage, and so maybe we're looking for a kill. Still able to force Nerf back, and that's another way of dealing with Nerf's aggression, is fight fire with fire. Make sure Nerf is not ever able to feel comfortable enough to do that. So I'm already liking Reborn's stance here in this game much better than what we just saw.
And we called it out early, the pick from Grux. See, that was a great call to see Jay Leo adjust his game, say, hey, if you guys are going to invade my jungle like this, I got an answer for you in Grux, and he's going right back toe-for-toe with Think Twice and saying, I got something for you, and you guys aren't going to do that to me.
That's right. We'll have to see what Jay Leo Grande can do, because we did see a little bit of that pressure applied to Nerf, but we have to see if they can maintain that, right? If you just apply pressure to Nerf and then you just kind of like let him to do his own thing, it's not really going to affect him. So we really need Reborn to get in there and just start applying pressure. To your point, Kale, earlier, Team Reborn is a very slow burn team. If you let the game go too long, Reborn's going to start taking it in their favor. But Think Twice wants to try and win this game as early and as quickly as possible. So we'll see how they utilize all these advantages. I'm really excited to see when Nerf decides to go on the offensive, because that's just Nerf. At some point, he hits critical mass and he's like, let's start making plays. Let's start affecting the map globally and see what we can do.
I wonder if Think Twice took a look at the duo mid coming out from Reborn and said, maybe we should, should I do it? Should I do it, Kale? Maybe we should think twice about going into the jungle. It was, pun please, pun not intended, chat. To go inside of that jungle and invade it, maybe they themselves are sort of counter-adjusting to the style of their opponent, saying, all right, well, we have a Greystone. We are going to have a late-game scaling composition. We're going to play the farm game and see how you guys are able to play that sword. And looking at that situation, especially when it comes to this duo mid, Twin Blast FaZe, widely considered amongst these teams to be the best duo you can get for duo mid mirrors such as this. FaZe allows Twin Blast to be aggressive and be oppressive with that ability damage of his grenades, which you just saw momentarily, and that damage is in small AoE and has 3 charges. He's constantly able to spam that out. Pound for pound, he's the best around in that sort of situation. Nazgul getting torn apart right there by Shinx, and also Undead Pilot's in a lot of trouble. Jay Leo Grande just charges straight through him. He just straight speared him down to the ground, and they are able to get first blood. Reborn get themselves on the board early on with the empowerment of that green buff and the early game presence of Grux.
We'll definitely have to see that back in an instant replay to see exactly what went down, but Jay Leo already affecting the map, picking up a first blood. He did have that invis buff, so he was able to follow Nerf around and say, hey team, Nerf's on the way. I'm right behind him, so whatever you guys want to do, let's do this.
Yeah. You saw he was kind of baiting for a little while, or stalking rather, for a little while on who he was going to target. And again, once we get that replay and we'll be able to see exactly what he did.
Here we go.
Taking a look back at it, it was the purple buff, the Shadow Plane buff. Think Twice had no idea. Undead Pilot, the 2-man smash and grab. And then Jay Leo said, I'm going to finish you off. And that's exactly what he does. Just that's map, that is river control. You take control of the river buffs, you're able to get one of those 4 buffs and set up kills. Without that Shadow Plane buff, without the purple buff, that kill more than likely wouldn't have happened.
I really like that they went ahead and tried to focus down that Revenant. He was able to smash and grab 2, but they focused the Revenant, trying to just shut down Undead Pilot. So they're doing a really good job. They're splitting that attention, shutting down Nerf and shutting down Undead Pilot.
Traditionally, with ranged carries such as Revenant and such as Twin Blast, the normal build that they go with here is early on a little bit of damage with supplemental attack speed, and then the big power boost they get is when they get max out themselves with crit, lifesteal, and a crit bonus item, which generally is a Blade of the Gore. And once they get that, all of a sudden their damage spikes up. Undead Pilot goes with a little bit of different style Nerf. Now, Think Twice are starting to start that invasion, but already the Quenching Scales healing item already on cooldown. Nanosec able to use that long-range grenade to secure the kill. One more big infusion of card experience going over to Reborn. They continue to aggress forward. Undead Pilot's quite low. Jay Leo thinking about looping around, maybe thinking twice about it here, is just going to invade the weak side, and they're going to be content with that kill. But yes, keep your eye on Undead Pilot's build. He actually goes with just a consistent build. He gets Adamant Edges, which is a card that gives you power and health. maybe we'll get some crit later on, but for the most part, he's just going to actually be a little bit tankier. Maybe not tankier is the right word, but being more difficult to take down with the play style and the deck that Undead Pilot generally plays Revenant as.
Oh, wow. Reborn with the invade.
Yes, they just took green buff.
Oh, Undead Pilot's in a lot of trouble here. Undead Pilot, Solo Nazgul, the Seismic Assault, the Void Bomb, too much damage. Solo probably could have got that kill by himself, but had teammates to follow up just in case something went wrong. And Reborn, this is them adapting, coming back, and now they are the ones dictating the tournament game number 2.
That's right. This is the Reborn we know. This is the Reborn that placed first in the qualifiers. They're very much a methodical team. They go in, they make a call, and they execute. Then, once that play is complete, they then convert that into an objective, a pick, anything. And that was beautiful. You saw them. They immediately just all charged into the enemy jungle, grabbed that green buff, rotated them in, and again, picked off Undead Pilot, continuing to shut them down. Just immaculate play.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple things that set that up. First off, when Think Twice was setting up with the Sevarog over in their jungle, instead of letting J. Leo stay out all by himself, they actually rotated to the jungle to help him out. They were able to kill Nerf as a result. And then as a counter, they went into Think Twice's jungle, and then they stole their farm and said, hey, we can play this game too. We'll be aggressive and counteract what you guys are trying to do.
Nerf level 6 to J. Leo Grande's 5, so they've been aggressive, though Nerf is still keeping up, at least in the levels, so maintaining some stability in terms of overall power curve between these two teams. Undead Pilot level 4, looking over to the carry player of Reborn on Nadosic level 5, so not too far up there. The big metrics always is the supports, though. Shadon has hit level 5, the containment fence is online for Decker. Master Splinter, not yet hit that himself. Hyperflux is a big power boost for carries due to the increased attack speed, but it's also consistently good on other heroes because not only does it have that attack speed boost, but a lot of people tend to forget the ultimate of Phase has the cooldown reduction associated with it as well.
That's right, and when placed on a Bellica, Nazgul specifically, that can be pretty
all
terrifying.
All the
void bombs, all the seismic assault, and I mean, with a neural disruptor, I mean, being able to have that cooldown be much less, even when used at the start of the fight, could potentially even mean 2 fired in a single team fight.
The reason Phase synergizes so well with Twin Blast, continue to address Hyperflux, the ultimate of Phase, is it doubles downs on Twin Blast. Twin Blast is a little bit of his damage is a hybrid source. It's a little bit of the basic attack from the auto attacks and also a little bit of ability damage from the grenades. So it basically gives him both of those. He's not only is he able to spam those grenades constantly because of the lower cooldown, but also the increased attack speed of, well, red buff on Twin Blaster. You can tell immediately looking for a kill over to Undead Pilot. J. Leo Grand's been sweeping with the blue buff at extra speed, but the peel is there from Shadon. Lands the stasis bomb stun, but they're going for it. They're going in, the quenching scales used. It just was a means to keep him alive for a little bit longer. Now trying to get a reprisal with J. Leo Grande with a pull for Phase, taking him back to his safety. Nerf continues to move forward, but the seismic assault coming out from Solo Nazgul is enough to knock him up and stun him. They are able to secure the kill onto J. Leo Grande a little bit after. So it's a 1-for-1 kill to carry for a jungler. They're going to stabilize, they're going to protect their tower, but keeping Undead Pilot off of his feet. This is his 3rd death, just 11 minutes into this game.
Yeah, they're not going to let Undead run away like he did last game. He had 7 kills, no deaths. Now he's starting off, and he has 3 of the deaths for Think Twice, and it is very good play, very adaptive play from Team Reborn. Look at this.
Oh, wow, yet again, just invading the enemy jungle, ripping away that green buff. That Reborn showing up. They're like, we're not going to do this more. We're not going to let you walk all over us. It's time to fight back. And now we'll see. Will they make a rotation?
Oh, Talklick run. Oh, Talklick.
Oh, boy.
He knows he's in trouble.
Immediately just turned around.
Of Reborn is rotating over here, and sure, he might have 2 lives. He uses the Leap of Make Way. The Judgment of the Heavens is going to land the tether. He's behind the Tier 1 tower, trying to juke to keep himself up. There's Reforged, now going to come back to a life with a little bit of HP, so they're not going to secure the kill. Talklick had the Spidey sense enough to be able to get away before he gets taken out twice.
That's still a good play, though. Forcing out that ultimate coming out from Greystone, the Reforge will ensure, especially at these earlier levels, that cooldown will be much, much longer. So if they try to make a call and they try to capitalize on that later, that Greystone won't have Reforged, and that's a huge game changer.
Leo is just, this is a complete switch from game number 1. A complete switch. I feel like this is just like almost like the exact same replay of different teams, except the team names just switch sides. It's quite astounding because Reborn traditionally has been a team that can be stubborn to a fault. And right here, the big adjustments with the $12,000 online, they are making the adjustments. This is a really good way for Think Twice to get themselves back into this match with Undead Pilot being shunted so much on his farm. They get all 3 Raptors, and they're going to get away cleanly. Toplet farming on the other side of the map freely to himself. Yes. So you can tell Think Twice are maneuvering themselves and making the rotations they need to make things happen.
Things are about to get very interesting. We're getting toward the very first beginnings of the mid-game, where we're going to see a lot more team skirmishes and a lot more big objectives taken. So this is that play on Undead Pilot.
Leo Grande had the blue buff, had the speed, and it uses the ultimate into the smash and grab. And at that point, Undead Pilot was so close to getting away. That containment fence was a moment too late. That pull for Master Splinter was beautiful. Leo does go off later on, but that means that Think Twice had to funnel more resources into taking him down, instead of maybe cascading that fight into it even more kills off of that. So it turned a 1-for-1 into what could have been a 1-for-2, 1-for-3.
I feel like this game is shaping up to be a bit of a back and forth. We have objectives down for Team Reborn on both of the side lanes. Those tier 1 objectives are down. Meanwhile, for Think Twice, they just have the mid lane objective down, that tier 1. So, and they grabbed Raptor. So from the objective standpoint, I want to tip my hat to Think Twice right now. And it's going to be very indicative here. It looks like we're about to get into another skirmish.
Leo was he was diving. He was in there like swimmer. Containment fence, but the pull, he pulls him up over the fence. But Nazgul's going to be the one that's isolated there. Containment fence used to great effect there. Reflect gets stasis bomb. He gets knocked up in the wall with that colossal blow, displacing him away. And that's going to put him in a very, very bad spot. He's at a quarter HP with Talkflick now flanking around. Here comes FaZe. Beautifully done. They were able to connect right there. Master Splinter saying, "Come at me, man. Bend yourself around the corner." Got the angle. Pulled them away. Still, though, Team Reborn give up a kill onto Solo Nazgul. Think Twice. They're able to inch themselves inside of this game, and immediately into the jungle they go.
Look where Think Twice is at. Looks like they're trying to invade, get some of that jungle farm away from Reborn. They're not going to stay around as long as they did in that first game because it's going to hurt. Rux runs in there, and he will inflict some pain. But they do manage to capitalize on those misplays and that first skirmish. I would say that's the first skirmish that we've seen between these two teams, where we saw some things happen, some action on the screen.
And that's where we see supports really playing a huge factor here in these team fights. Master Splinter over on that FaZe and that telekinetic link. FaZe can link to an ally and pull them to safety when they get in trouble. And that's what we saw right at the start of the fight. Leo was super, super low. Immediately, Master Splinter telekinetic link pulls him out. They keep on fighting, and then we do see Nazgul fall, but later on we see that save over on Reflect. So FaZe coming up big on those plays right there.
Yeah, had that Decker containment fence caught both of them, and the FaZe been unable to get out Leo. We probably might have seen a double kill right off the beginning of that fight, which would have really hurt Team Reborn.
And I think they had to save Leo there, especially because he's just so on fire. It's almost like, just, Naz, I'm sorry, but we need him on the map right now. We need him affecting this game.
Say the off-lane tower here is going to fall. Generally, that tower gets taken out relatively early, so Talkflick has done a commendable job at keeping his off-lane tower alive here. But there was a little bit late to the party, is Think Twice. Nerf is going to come around the corner and find Leo Grande. Leo Grande is able to sidestep that, and look at the pull. Nerf almost was able to use the colossal blow. Had it queued up there, but the pull from Master Splinter again, telekinetic link, showing its value. And that's the most impactful thing that FaZe can do, is the hallmark of a good FaZe player is making sure you have that link and making sure you're able to get people out of trouble.
So we are basically in the thick of mid-game right now. Who do you feel like at this point, especially as we start getting toward the late game, is going to come out?
Oh, there's your answer right there, KO. Leo Grande went to a fight, but he was by himself, and with not enough people around him, Undead Pilot was able to get the full grunt damage of Obliterate down, blowing Leo Grande up, and that allowed for them to penetrate in the backline and pick up yet another kill over onto Solo Nazgul. Talkflick getting harassed by 3 members of Reborn down in the background, and is going to go down because he had that reforge we saw that was taken off earlier in the fight with that skirmish. just a little bit ago. A 2-for-2 exchange. These teams are going even blow for blow, which I think in Think Twice situation is a testament to where they've been fighting from behind and are still taking even exchanges.
Yes.
Yeah, and a huge something to point out. Undead Pilot picking himself up a kill on Jaleo Grande's Grux in the Reckoning. Revenant's ultimate Reckoning allows him, if he kills that target he's chosen, he's going to earn extra income.
Yeah.
And they've been shutting down Undead Pilot. So for him to walk up and say, team, I need this. Reckoning. And lands the kill, it's going to ensure a huge influx of economy to end on Undead Pilot and really just let them get back in this game.
Now that being said, we see Reborn at the Raptors, which was a big pick for them getting that economic game. We have a replay of this fight that unfolded.
Shinx chasing down Solo Nazgul right here, and all that damage coming out from the claws is significant here.
Watch
this
it, Leo.
Use their fury. So he's in there, but they're able to focus fire him
right
down.
There.
You hear the bell toll right there, and that is the sound of Reckoning. His time came, and yeah, that extra card experience granted over to Undead Pilot is very, very valuable, and the chase over to Togflick was a little bit after there, but you see the reforge. Now the containment fence over. Solo Nazgul's in a lot of trouble. He has the blue buff, trying to find himself a little bit of room, a little bit of safety, but it's not going to be there as he was in the arena. He was in the death zone, and he gets taken off the field. A containment fence for only 1 pickoff. Shadon is level 7, so that means that containment fence is only level 1 and has upwards of a 2.5-minute cooldown. Right. So Nazgul's going to be back on the map, and there's going to be a window of opportunity where Decker does not have her ultimate. Look for Reborn to try to capitalize on that.
Get another engagement here, Shane.
Think Twice. They continue the aggression despite the fact that they weren't in the best position prior to that. Instead, they're going to focus down on the Amber Link. Something we haven't talked much about here. A very integral part of fueling economy into your team throughout the course of the match is that Amber Link, and you're actually able to deny your opponent if you are able to go to the strong side of the jungle and hit the Amber Link down.
Man, with the scoreboard, both teams keeping neck and neck, and Think Twice really able to snap back. Though they did have a few unadvantageous kills handed over early game, you can see they're still very much in this. And here we go, Pilot just starting to get confident again on that Revenant. So we'll see what they can do, how they can turn this around.
I'm very interested to see, and this is a point I was going to make earlier, as we get later into this game, what team has the better comp as we get into the late game? Who do you guys feel like it favors right now for late game compositions?
Ooh, Shane, let me hear your opinion first.
If you look at the carries in a vacuum, Tone Blast generally has a little bit more late game presence than that of Undead Pilot on Revenant. Revenant's play style as a carry is much more untraditional, as a departure from what a lot of people know as carries, for those of you who are familiar with those mechanics there. So, but that's not the thing I want to look at here in the draft. I think more so it comes down to the other players, specifically Kwong between Greystone. Kwong has kill potential. Greystone not only has kill potential, but is a threat throughout the course of the match. It's one of those catch-22s where you have to deal with them, but at the same time, you can't really let him go untethered, else he's just going to cut down your backline.
Right.
The big thing for me, though, is the junglers. Rux, his damage becomes rather insignificant in the later stages of the game. Sevarog, though, his actually builds up, builds up, builds up. You actually see him get those big, scary shoulder pads as he gets stacks, utilizing his abilities. One of the core mechanics of Sevarog, which is the reason why I actually think Twice has an advantage going into the later stage of the game.
Especially with that Shinx, Zinx, you know, becoming that hyper raid boss that we've seen her to be all weekend long. You know, if she gets in there with that massive Mexican standoff, they know what's going on. The pull is available, and that's what you're going to see. Telekinetic Link pulling them up. So that's going to force Nerf forward. Subjugate there is going to be available, and as well as Togflick sitting there, swinging the sword, make way to charge himself forward. The storm the gates to make way, which is dishing out the damage right there. There's the Subjugate coming up, cooldown. Beautifully done. Shadon gets it with the stasis bomb, securing the kill, and now that's forcing Reflect to be by himself. He's isolated under his tower, using the Fury of the Heavens, looking for a turnaround kill on the Pilot. He needs assistance now, or else he might get taken out with the Bad Force Ash. One last auto attack. The carry player from Think Twice gets sliced off of the field. The support for a carry. Reborn are going to take that exchange any day of the week. A good trade favoring them. Yeah, definitely. I think what happened there, unfortunately, was they split up a little bit, and Undead Pilot was left on his own, and they were able to take him off. Now, Think Twice does have plenty of utility and tools to keep him alive, but they just weren't anywhere near him. We saw them he started to run toward his team, but they were just too far away, and that's a kill going over to Reflect.
That's a pretty big play by Reflect to get Undead off of the map for, what was that, another 40 seconds, and allow their carry, Twin Blast, to continue kind of farming there. So Yes, very big play from Reflect to have the awareness to go immediately for Undead.
We'll have to see which team prioritizes Orb Prime, especially here at the 23-minute mark. But first,
so here is that Mexican standoff. Jay Leo had the tether and was able to narrowly get away. Judgment of Heaven's coming down, didn't land, but this is where mistakes are made from Think Twice, is they see the kills in front of them, their eyes get bigger than their stomach, they're diving the tower, and this is all for a support player right here. Shayon could have maybe used a containment fence, but look what happens. Look at Undead Pilot and Reflect in the background, chasing him off the screen. Meanwhile, over at the inhibitor, Reforge was forced down, and the moment that Reforge was used, I think that was when the notion was called, but there was a big disconnect. Reflect was able to surgically cut off Undead Pilot from the rest of his team.
Yeah, that was very, like I said, keen awareness on Reflect's part to be able to separate the carry from the rest of the pack and basically take him out uninhibited.
Yeah, and it was that kill over on an Undead Pilot, so though he did have that massive influx of card points, he's now going to be shut down again, so we really need Think Twice to just funnel more resources into Undead Pilot. If he can remain a threat that they have to focus in on, that's just going to split attention, because right now, though Nerf is getting super tanky, he's still a little bit squishy. As this game gets later and later, he's just going to have this insanely high health pool, but we also need Think to scale up as well.
And here's a big play around the Raptors. This is exactly what Undead needs. Get him some economy. Those Raptors, very important to grab that economy. Meanwhile, Toklit distracting.
Toklit. He's in some trouble. If Toklit goes down, which he might be able to, storm the gates being available, is he going to jump up to the high ground? He does. There's a little bit of a bleed on him from the Rush, he makes they're going to drop down. Ventilate being used. When was the last time you saw Ventilate secure a kill? But he is able to do it. Over onto the carry. Though with that being said, look at mid lane. Not only were the Raptors just taken mid lane under siege, and Reborn are in full scramble mode in order to try to keep their tier 2 tower alive, but I don't think they're going to be able to. They're going to pick up jump pads here, and that actually absolutely favors Think Twice. They took a situation that didn't look good for them, turned it around, and made it their own.
The age-old question.
Worth. Absolutely. Think Twice. Toklit falling, but in exchange for a tier 2 tower is massive.
Oh man, Jinx was using that damage over time to get aggressive on Reflect, maybe looking for kill potential, but has to make sure it doesn't get taken out too far. Meanwhile, Nerf is able to get pits and pick up a solo kill over onto the carry player, so that was just distraction tactics. And then Jinx, the black buff over on Jinx does so much damage with Zinx now with the stasis bomb with Reflect. Nerf is low, but it doesn't matter. The Fury of the Heavens is used, but Nerf swings that big hammer, and he nails him into the ground.
Falling apart for Reborn. I cannot believe what is happening right now. I feel like that tier 2 tower takedown on Think Twice's part caught them off guard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they kind of scrambled, and then we saw a bunch of kind of picks. And here we see another 20-something minute, so this is 26 minute, 4 prime grab from Think Twice. This is going to be big.
Jay Leo's there, maybe trying to look to convert this into an advantage. He's going to go in, but at this point, he's just going to get taken out. And that right there, they're trying to delay it. Sometimes giving up a kill or two to delay the Orb Prime can be worth it, but in that situation, that just means Think Twice is going to have an even larger power play available to them. So the Nazgul now going in, getting knocked into the grasp of Think Twice, and then the Pilot's going to get that kill right there. And this is going to be a very threatening push coming from Think Twice. We're 26 minutes into the game, so the death timers are upwards of a minute. It's going to be 5v4 for a period of about 30 minutes. And Solo Nazgul, he's the best kit on the side of Reborn to defend these pushes. He's off the field, taking a look at the CS. Look at the numbers between Think Twice and Reborn. Over 100 CS difference. CS's creep score, getting last hits to infuse economy, going over to Think Twice.
Basically, Think Twice has more money in the bank.
That's right.
Than Reborn right now, and that is starting to show. Again, I want to point out Nerf, the later we get into the game, now he has more prime, the scarier he gets.
That's right.
And he is going to be an absolute, as Zeke would say, terror once things get started. And you know what I'm anticipating right now is a big push down mid lane. They're going to group big push down mid lane, and they're going to try to siege that inhib. Now, it is very important at this point in the game, with Think Twice having the Orb Prime, for them not to allow Think Twice to get pit kills. Because if they offset those deaths, we're going to see the same type of game 1 effect. They're going to continue to push until they can take down that inhib. Here we go.
That's right. They just need to stall long enough, KL. Can they?
looking at the side lanes going into this is when you want to keep your eye on, because your eyes on, because if one lane is set against Think Twice, that actually, if this becomes a botched siege, they can get punished very, very hard for it, because he top click on the left, a little bit of divide and conquer tactics, which is what Greystone excels at, and right lane is also set for Think Twice. What we mean by set is simply that the wave minion is slowly going to push into your opponent's base. But so this is going to be all about delegation of resources for Reborn, and that is on the shoulders of J. Leo and the shot calling. The shot calling from Nerf has been on point, as we saw that decisive movement into mid lane, and again into the breach. Moving forward, Severog uses the Colossal Blow more so as a zoning tool and isolating, as well as that containment fence. But that is going to keep Undead Pilot from getting focused down here for Reflect, but the damage and the follow-up isn't there. It's stabilizing through this long abuse of ultimates that Reborn is showing right now is Think Twice. Undead Pilot taking a lot of burst damage coming out from Twin Blast. He saw the grenade plus the double shot. He's going to have a little bit of regen, but it's Reflect still there right now, trying to get the damage down there, thwarting off the aggression. This has been an impressive defense coming out from Reborn. The inhibitor's barely taking any damage. Containment fence is on cooldown. Undead Pilot is low, and they are going to bend and bend, but they shall not break.
That was an incredible display, as you called it, of shot calling on J. Leo's part to focus the correct targets that they needed to focus, to distract the people that they needed to distract, and hold off what could have been the end of this game.
That's right. That was huge. And, you know, huge respect to Reborn. Though they've started to be on the back foot a little bit, their shot calling is on point. J. Leo is still focused in on this game, and they're trying to just push this to a game 3, and you can tell that there's so much intensity from both teams right now. It honestly could go either way at this point.
And for those of you at home that had a little bit of sweat on your brow from that, you can wipe off. Reborn
take a breath.
Saves himself. They get to fight for what seems like another few minutes, perhaps, in this game. And really it might come down to the next War Prime take, when War Prime comes back up. So right now we see Undead at the Raptors. Again, all about that economy. They have more money in the bank, and they're continuing to invest right now.
Undead Pilot. Now, though his creep score there on the left is a little bit less, Undead has picked himself up a few kills under the effects of his ultimate, the Reckoning. So he has a little bit more gold, if not equalized to the other carry. So, I mean, he's on fire right now. He has picked up that Tainted Magic. You see there, that 7-point cost card, so we'll have to see how he can utilize that in his damage.
There's a lot of damage going down here on the Zinx. Well, that's what Zinx is meant to do, is to soak up all the damage, which he might get pincered and collapsed on here.
Oh no.
Sent down as she's running out of health, soon to run out of mana here. The Bellica drone is being used to avoid that. I believe there was this Neuro Disruptor, the ultimate that came out, but Shink's really going to be able to get away there. Now Reborn is in full retreat. Taking a look at the time, 31 minutes at the top of your screen, ladies and gentlemen. This is the juncture where we now will start to see Reborn get into their comfort zone. Even though, yes, they are behind objectives, they are behind on farm, this is where they excel the most, late game situation. Normally in this, we see them have a late scaling composition though, so it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to try to take what is a disadvantage inherently from the draft, but use just out-maneuvering and out-thinking their opponent in the late game. It's going to be very close when it comes down to these inhibitor defenses, but I think the clock is ticking here for Think Twice. They have to be really careful about Nadosic just out-scaling Undead Pilot.
What it comes down to when you mention the late game is the play from Reflect and the play from Nadosic. Those are their two late game heroes right now. And on the flip side for Think Twice, we're going to be really paying attention to Nerf, and that's about it, right? I mean, so Tokflit, his late game presence, not necessarily that scary, but Nerf is going to be the one that needs to really set up plays. We saw Twin Blast can eat Shinx or Zinx alive because of the damage that he puts out, right? So, you know, once you have carries that start scaling well late game, they can really blow Zinx up.
That's right. Zinx is very dependent on being able to soak damage, but to your point, Kale, and even you, Shane, Nadosic on that Twin Blast is scary, and it's only going to continue and continue to get worse, so they're going to have to look to focus him down as quickly as possible, because if not, especially under the effects of Face's ultimate Hyperflux, Nadosic is going to be dropping grenades, his triple shots, and basic attacks, and just tearing through enemies.
Left lane, all grouped up. They just invaded the jungle of Reborn here, and they are going to be defending a pending siege on this side of the map, looking at the lanes. They're both in that mid part of the map, the line of scrimmage. Falling back is Think Twice. Or Prime is not yet coming back. He's going to be here momentarily, maybe in about 25 to 15 seconds, and just trying to push those lanes out, use the vision of the wards that they have, and we take a look at the economical advantage that Think Twice has. Continues to build up and build up and build up, but if this game stagnates, Reborn can churn that engine of Nadosic that they're going to be fusing into him, and hopefully try to catch this up there. But the spawning of the Ore Prime, you're going to see these teams really posture around that and either engage it, bait, switch. There's a lot of different ways that these teams are going to be able to find and add an advantage in this situation. Blinking forward with the stab link, challenge Warlord into the smash and grab on the Shade on. A lot of resource being put into them. They have to be careful. The containment fence has been used. They're stuck in there right now, but there's going to be no follow-up. So a big cooldown is now not available to Think Twice for Ore Prime, which is the single biggest threat that Reborn have to be concerned about. So Reborn might look to engage on the Ore Prime instead, falling back as Jaleo Grande is fairly wounded.
And as you see, Reborn, huge respect going over to Think Twice. They do want to fight. Reborn really wants to fight when it's available to them, when it's their fight.
Oh, you saw Talk Flip almost being a distraction and the engagement onto Ore Prime from the rest of his team, but Reborn was like, no. Run by this Greystone. We have a bigger, there's bigger fish for us to fry.
Maybe a little bit of a bait and switch there, but it seems like Think Twice really considering posturing around this Ore Prime right now. This is going to be very important.
They will start it.
Here we go. He has lifesteal, so he's able to use his auto attacks to tank the Ore Prime. His damage is now online to where the lifesteal is enough to keep him topped up while they do it. Ore Prime to about 33% HP. Talk Flick and Nerf zoning out the rest of Reborn. They want to keep them away. Even if they get taken out, there may be 4 free 5 potential, but Undead Pilot is going to be able to secure the Prime card. The question is, can they get away cleanly and get themselves collected before Reborn collapses on them? Jaleo Grande is already in the back line, knocking up Shinx, but Shinx is so tanky, they're just absorbing all the damage, it simply doesn't matter. And they're collapsing over on a Reborn. This is Think Twice with a huge advantage. Undead Pilot uses the Obliterate and gets the kill thus far. Reborn are on the rope. They have to be careful. The Reckoning used. The Blink Charm forwards. He's going to be able to get the Obliterate. He's going to have to bend around the corner if he wants to live, but no, he will not bend. And he gets taken out as well. Jaleo Grande is the lone survivor of this engagement, and Think Twice, with just superior shot calling, superior movement, we're able to zone Reborn away from the Ore Prime, allow Undead Pilot to pick it up with that big power boost of the Prime card coming online. There's now a charge into the right inhibitor, and they may be able to go for the core here. Ladies and gentlemen, close it. $12,000 are on the line for Think Twice right here. 20 seconds for Master Splinter, but Nazgul, Reflect, and NATO are down for a period of time. Jaleo Grande is going to have to pull off the play of his life if he wants to keep the hope and dreams of North America in this game. But I don't know if he's going to be able to. He's going to get charged for it. Obliterate underneath the core. Colossal Blow is knocking him away from the defense, and they're just going in on the core. Jaleo Grande can't do it. And congratulations to Think Twice. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our victors of Paragon Exhibition 2017, the first of its kind, and you see these guys looking happy and joyed, and they are so well deserving. We're behind in the early game, using the Reborn, using their typical aggression, but they know that style too much, bounce back, and wonderfully done by the team who was the underdogs coming into this event.
Wow. Huge
Despite
props.
coming out of Europeans, championship qualifiers as the #1 seed, many folks thought Think Twice was the underdog going into this, and as Shadon has mentioned multiple times, kind of like the misfit group of guys that just came together that are very, very talented, following on the heels of great play and aggressive play, and now they are the champions of the very first Paragon Exhibition event, the official tournament hosted by Epic. This has been a great show of skill, great show of class from both teams. Man, I really thought Reborn was going to come back, and they did all the things that we talked about. They adapt all game. Look at these guys. Got Nerf, Toke, Undead, Shaden. Just fantastic play.
Is there a little eye sweat from Shaden coming right there?
Maybe.
A little sweat in front of the eyes?
There's the man himself. Cameron.
Yeah.
Green turtleneck. I love it.
Oh, the turtleneck game's on point. And how
it
fitting
is.
for Think Twice that he would be. We know who Cam was rooting for.
He
with the green
was.
shirt.
That's got to be what it was.
I think so.
It's the power of the turtleneck.
I wonder if Cameron had a backup turtleneck just in case.
He had a blue one for Reborn?
Yeah, just
You
in
think
case.
so?
Yes.
I think so. I think he has a closet full of them.
There are your champions.
Your moment. 3. Lift the trophies in 3.
Congratulations,
2,
Think
1.
Twice.
Okay.
How the underdogs, they really came through.
So very well deserved as they celebrate. These guys have put their heart, dreams, aspirations into this game. The blood, sweat, and tears paying off.
I'm so excited to see where they go from here.
Throw it up. Start twerking like Miley. Don't pop it like Miley.